What saves me and has saved me a million times from going back is I'm certain I'll die. I'm certain if I don't hurt somebody else, if I don't end up like drunk driving, or
Sure.
like I will 1,000% die. And that's a lot of people's rock bottom. And it hurts the people around you more than anything. And I'm never going to be like, I'm not going to be that selfish. Like the only reason I go back out is because I want to die. But I have promised Mickey, like in any way that
the only reason you
if I went back out,
went back to using
drugs, it's because I'm suicidal and I want to die. But I'm never going to do that to my family, because I get peace, whatever comes after.
At their expense.
I only hurt the people around me, and I'm not willing to do that. So for times when I can't do it for myself, having my family, knowing that they love me, knowing that they care about me, or just anybody that you care about that you don't want to hurt, like, when you can't do it for yourself, do it for someone else. But the only way you're really going to do it is when you do it for yourself. Because one day Mickey's going to make me mad. And if I want to be spiteful, then what? I go drink or I go do a drug. Like, I have to do it for me.
You hurt yourself to hurt them?
Yeah, I have to do it for me at the end of the day. But having somebody, like I said, Mickey's why I got sober. I did not care if I lived or die at that point. But when I overdosed, I felt like I got to a point, like it was like a dream is how I remember it. And it seemed like there was a point where I could go forwards or backwards. Forward was like I had to live and there was light. Backwards was just peace, and it was dark, and it looked like I felt like I could just fall back asleep.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this before. That's heavy though. So you were in an overdose and you felt like you could have gone either way. Like you could have chose life or you could have chose death at that time.
Yeah. I that's exactly, like, I remember it as if it was a dream. I had like a dream of other things that were going on at the time. Well, what I remember exactly is I had shot up, and I didn't want to shoot up as much as I did, but I couldn't hit a vein. Somebody else did it for me, and they did the full amount instead of what I would have wanted to do. So I stood up and I was like, oh, fuck. I've never, and I think I was like, I ain't never been this high. Like, said something I would never say.
I do declare.
Yeah, like I said,
I ain't never done been this high.
Yeah.
She's so high, she's antebellum.
Like, yeah, like I talked like completely, and I remember like being like, huh?
That sounded weird.
And then I just started having a seizure. Like, I remember being confused by how I was speaking, and then I had a seizure. But during that time, I was kind of like dreaming. And then at the end of it, it was like I could go one way and it was peace. And I felt like I could just relax and like everything would just be fine. I could just finally like breathe, like what I'd been looking for. Or I could go forward, and I kept seeing Mickey, and I kept hearing his voice, and I kept hearing him say like that he didn't want the next time he held my hand for it to be cold. And I can't look at you right now or I'm going to start crying. But I remember just being like, fucking Mickey. And then like, all right, I got to go that way. And I remember, like, I was annoyed with him that he wouldn't let me die. And so I felt like I made that decision to like fight through and not just let go and die. And then, I woke up and I was like, I'm never doing this again. A couple hours later I was, but then a couple days later I finally asked for the help. And thank fucking God I did. Because, like, no drug, no alcohol, nothing it's never worth it. And, like, hating yourself, being miserable, there's an easier, softer way. And, like, you have to go through a difficult time, but that, as somebody said, like, you never have to feel this way again. You never have to feel this way again. And I remember, like, going into detox, going into rehab, every single day it got better, it got easier. Today, I barely have to think about it. I think about it from a sense of pride and excitement and like, oh shit, my anniversary is coming up. Like, I know what I can and can't do, but I never have to feel the way I did that last day. Like the misery, the shame, the guilt, like all of that, like wanting to die, hoping like maybe this will be the last time. Like, you never have to feel that way again. You do it one day and it sucks, and then it's easier every single day. You get to 30 days and like you're feeling like a rock star. Then like times get harder, but if you just keep going, it gets better. And when you like, I'd say like after a year, like that was like most exciting thing for me to ever achieve was to get a year sober. And it just gets easier if you you try to do the next right thing. You try to take care of yourself. You're never going to be
Get
perfect.
that momentum going.
Yeah, you get that momentum. But I remember thinking in the beginning, all right, if I relapse now, I got to start again. I got to try again. Like, I never want to feel that way again. So I'm never going to fucking put myself in that position. And I promised myself that, if I do it again, I'm going to die. So maybe I don't have to feel that way again, but I'm for sure going to die. So I hope I never get to that point, and I do everything I can to not get to that point. And that's why I tell everybody, like, if you love me, don't tell me that maybe I'm not a drug addict. Maybe I was just a little party girl. Maybe I was crazy or immature or whatever. I don't want to find out. So that's I never have to feel that way again. That's why I remind myself every day, because there's no worse feeling than that.
That's heavy.
It's a remarkable story, Jamie. It really is. And I your bravery and your vulnerability in telling it is something very, very special.
It was the first time I almost cried on the podcast. Gerard cried on the Chaz Palminteri one.
And I didn't get any tears?
Huh?
You don't care I was going to die?
I hold my baseball. I hold it tight.